Hey guys, this video is meant to be quite celebratory, but unfortunately I'm not very well, so sorry if the tone is a bit As I've already said on this channel and on Twitter, I am now a qualified yoga teacher. My certificate's there. You probably can't see it. I'm now a fully qualified yoga teacher, and I just wanted to do a video about all that to clear up any confusion with my training and getting qualified. So I completed my course between June 2014 and June 2015. So in June of last year we had 3 exams. We had a philosophy exam because there's lots of Eastern philosophy and religions within yoga that we need to learn about. It's very interesting. An anatomy exam and the practical exam, which was the most nerve-wracking thing because you have to teach in front of a teacher, basically. You have to teach and be graded. We had to teach in pairs, so luckily we weren't teaching the whole class or anything. It was just, there were 3 pairs of people in a room and the teacher was grading us. And it was nerve-wracking because we had a time limit, and if we went over the time limit, we'd be disqualified, and if we went under the time limit, we'd be disqualified. But when the day came, it was fine. My teacher, Rachel, is actually really lovely, and she made it so it wasn't too nerve-wracking, and everyone passed. Not just in our group, everyone in the class passed, which was really good. So I passed the practical exam, which was great. I passed the philosophy, but I failed the anatomy by like 3% or 2%. You had to get 75% to pass, and I got 72 or 73. It was really annoying. Me and one other person passed, but we all got together. We had our graduation, which involved doing some yoga to some like weird funky music, and we like dressed up in wigs and it was crazy. And then the teacher would hand us all a folder which contained a certificate and a Yoga London top. Obviously for me and the person who failed, we did not get our certificate, but we were told that we could resit it, so in our folder we just had a top, but it was fine. We all got a folder with our name on, and then we all went to the pub afterwards and had some great food, and it was really good. And after all that happened, I made a video called Newly Qualified Yoga Teacher. I had one more observation to write, which involved going and observing a yoga teacher and writing up what happened, which I have now done. I had that observation to write and I had an exam to resit, but I was basically a qualified yoga teacher. I was completely sure that I would pass soon. People who've been watching me for a while will know that I then resat the anatomy exam and things didn't go to plan, and I think I failed by a couple of % again, and that was talked about in a video called The Awkward Tube Encounter, because even when I'm going to college I still have awkward things happening to me on public transport. So that was a thing. My next video, and I'm going to link all these so don't worry. So that happened, and if you want to know exactly what happened and how awkward and badly prepared everything was, you can watch The Awkward Tube Encounter. And then I felt really downcast. I felt like, do I even want to be a yoga teacher? Will I even be allowed to resit the exam again? I was in therapy at the time and my therapist was like, just ring the college and ask. But it wasn't as simple as that. I couldn't just ring the college and ask. I think my teacher would know that I failed, but the coordinator people, who are really lovely, they didn't know that I'd failed because I guess it's not their job to know. It's probably my job to chase up these things. And I was just feeling really downcast, like, what if they say, no, the time limit's run out, you can't resit the exam, you have to retake the entire course? A, my mum's not going to pay for that. B, I don't want to. That was so much effort. And so my therapist was saying, quickly ring them and find out, because if there's a deadline, you need to get in before the deadline, you know, and I just couldn't ring. It was just too impossible. I thought, oh, maybe I'll just work in childcare, and the nannying job and stuff wasn't going great either, because it's hard to sometimes find permanent nannying work. And I was like, I don't know if I want to be in nurseries, I don't know if I want to be a nanny, I don't know if I can be a yoga teacher, what if I can't resit the exam, and I don't even know if I'll make it as a YouTuber. Actually, my dream was to be an art therapist, but you need a master's degree for that, so I haven't done that because, yeah, I haven't done a master's degree, and I did not know where my life was going, and it was incredibly stressful. And one of my fears was that I would resit the exam and fail again, and I just couldn't, like, would they let me resit it a 4th time? I just couldn't. I was just giving up on everything. And then my therapist and my mum together like bullied me into contacting the coordinator of the college and asking and saying, hey, you know, I failed the exam, which was really embarrassing, and it's stupid because it shouldn't have been embarrassing because everyone fails things sometimes. I don't even think I failed it by a lot. I think I failed it by 1 or 2%. So I got myself booked in for the exam, and I would look at the book and my brain wouldn't work. We had like a textbook and we had a colouring book, and the colouring book was more helpful to me because you can colour code the different parts of the body, and I'm a very visual learner. But when I used the textbook, it wouldn't go in at all, and I would just give up all the time, and I would just say, it's not going in, it's not possible. So I was still corresponding with the coordinator, and she said, would you like to come in for a couple of lessons? And I was like, yes, oh my god. I didn't even have to pay for them. I could just come in for 2 lessons. I could just come in for 2 lessons and have a teacher teach me directly, and then, you know, sometimes there's things in the book that aren't going to be on the test. Sometimes the book is a bit more in depth, and I found that although I'd learnt most of the muscles, but some of them I couldn't remember, a lot of the muscles weren't on the test. We only had to know the major ones. The teacher was really good, really helpful. The people in the class were really lovely. And I started to feel a lot more confident in my abilities and in my knowledge of anatomy by now. But obviously there was still that fear that I'd fail, but I felt more confident. I'd used the colouring book and I'd been with a teacher, which I think is the best way to learn, because sometimes, you know, the book will tell you everything, whereas a teacher will be more likely to know what is on this particular test. And I started to feel a lot more well prepared. Although nervous, I was kind of ready and kind of thinking that I could do it. When I found out that I passed my exams, I had a huge weight off my shoulders. You do not understand how good it was. Not only that I'd passed my exam, but that I would get a certificate saying I was a newly qualified yoga teacher. I was just so terrified that they'd say, hey, you failed, and I'd have one of 3 situations would happen. Either they'd say, you can't resit unless you redo the whole course, or they'd say, you can resit and you have to pay, or I could resit for free, but like, would I want to resit? It was just ridiculous. I was feeling so stupid, and it's not my fault because, okay, the first time I tried my best, the second time I wasn't well prepared because I'd heard wrong information, and for that reason I failed. And then the third time I was probably more prepared than I'd ever been, but I just didn't want to be someone who was sitting an exam the 4th time. I do think they try and make things more academic than they need to be, and I didn't want to be learning all this academic stuff if I couldn't do it. So when I got the certificate, I was really excited. Literally, it had been a huge weight on my mind, all this stuff. It had been my 11/11 wish for so long. Of all the things I was worried about, that was the main thing I was worrying about. Firstly, getting a new job, but then I got one, which is a lovely job. So that was fine, but then I was just worrying so much about the exam. So having that weight off my mind was brilliant. I wanted to celebrate, and I wanted to celebrate with a lip sync video. Now some of you may know that I did a lip sync video before. That was to celebrate 200 subscribers last year. Wow, we've come so far, thank you guys. And it was a video to Wonderland by Natalia Kills. I dressed up as all different characters. I was Snow White, I was Alice in Wonderland, I was Rapunzel, and I was Red Riding Hood. And I had no money either, so I just made costumes out of like nighties and food colouring. It was lots of fun, and I got a really good response from it, and I just find those videos are really fun to make, really fun to edit, really fun to watch, etc. So that is something I enjoy doing, although it's kind of tongue-in-cheek because I know how cringe it is a lot of fun, and I wanted to celebrate with a lip sync video. So when I was doing my exams in the summer of 2015, we'd go out afterwards to Hyde Park because it's such a lovely place, or Regent's Park, one of them, and it was just lovely weather, and we'd go out after the exams, or I'd be travelling home and I would listen to Free by Natalia Kills. And because I was just in a bit of a Natalia phase, and that song just represented like, I'm free, I have no more exam. So it almost became a tradition for me that after the exam I would listen to Free. It happened with the 2 written exams, and then especially after the practical exam, because that was the final exam. That was like, I've done my course now, I listened to Free. And then when I resat the exam shortly after, I listened to Free again. On my third and final resit, I didn't listen to Free on the way home because I didn't want to jinx it. So I was just really superstitious and really like, I'm not going to celebrate and be like, I've done my exam, it's over, I've probably passed. I did not want to get my hopes up at all. So I didn't celebrate or anything until I actually got the email saying I'd passed, at which point I blared that song and I was just like, I'm free. Sorry about my ill voice. So yeah, it just became a song that, although that's not what it's about lyrically, but for me it was just about like, I'm free, I don't have to worry about studies anymore, which is a great feeling when if you guys are studying right now, once you finish your GCSEs or whatever, it is a great feeling, and it's great to get a course or like the studying part of your life behind you, because it's like, I have this qualification, no one can take it from me now. It's a great feeling. So I thought, you know what, why not? I've been thinking about this for a while, to make another lip sync video. I could make a lip sync video to Free, and that would that song to me now represents my yoga course and qualifying and success, and alright, Windows. And I could use that song to celebrate. Because I used a Natalia Kill song to celebrate 200 subscribers, I could do another celebration video. So that's what I did. And it was so much fun to make. It will be on my side channel for, obviously, copyright reasons. I will link the video. It's a very good song. It's a very funny, very satirical song that's a lot deeper when you listen to it than as you would first think. You think, oh, it's a song about shopping and being really rich and having lots of money. But it's kind of not. It's kind of quite sad, but quite satirical and funny. And I just really like the lyrics. I think they're really clever. She's a very creative artist, and I do like the songs that she writes. And yeah, I just thought it was a really interesting song and a really interesting way to celebrate. The video is also a lookbook, so I will put in the description where an outfit is originally from. Bear in mind, I probably got it from the charity shop, but that's what I'll do. I'll put all the information like that in the description in case anyone wants to know. I really hope that you enjoy the video, and I really hope that if any one of you is studying, that everything goes well and you get where you want in life. But I guess the main thing I'd say is you can always keep trying. If you fail an exam, you know, it's not the end of the world. They always let you resit. Even if you have to pay to resit or something like that, there might be some kind of loophole, but if you fail an exam, it's fine. Things will turn out okay. I said in another video recently, The Truth About Adulthood, that people say, oh, you know, if you fail your exams, you'll end up homeless on the streets and all this, and it's ridiculous. You don't have to pass your exams the first time. Yes, it's good if you do, but everyone fails at some point in life, and it's just really important to keep trying. I love you guys, and I hope you're having a lovely weekend. Bye!